I've been asked quite a lot on whether I count down the days towards the end of the lockdown and whether that's something I'm looking towards. And I put a post out on Facebook. I was interested to know what most people or what other people are doing and how they feel about things. And the post I put out was, got a couple of options from A to a G, and most people kind of said a C, living in each moment. Although I respect that there are a lot of people that are battling right now, and the moment is interminable. People that have lost their jobs, people that have getting no income in at the moment, or have got less income. Every day is probably going to seem like a week. So how do I approach that? Well, for me, number one, I don't even know what day this is of lockdown. And although I lost my income at the beginning of the lockdown, I've done everything I possibly can to work my ass off and try and reinvent my business and try and do things differently in the hopes that I can try and earn an income. And slowly I'm starting to see the results of that. So I'm lucky, and I know that. I recognize that 100%. A lot of people need to wait till the formal job sector opens to even look for job opportunities, and what is that going to look like. So I understand that a lockdown is a horrible thing to have to endure. So my thinking is the following. There's certain things we can change and certain things we can't change. We can't change the end date to this lockdown. Is it going to be extended? I don't know. My feeling this time is that probably not, although definitely we're going to see a trickle back to work. Certain industries, certain sectors are going to be let out of their houses first. Those that can work from home will continue to do so, but there are going to be a whole lot that are going to be trapped in the space of I can't return, but I can't do anything from home either. So to me, looking at this final time of an end date is I worry. For me, I don't enjoy the emotional roller coaster that comes along with that, and I don't enjoy the disappointment and having to go through that whole cycle of having to accept it all over again and go through the anger, grief, denial, etc., final acceptance, and then hopefully meaning at the end of it. So the only way I can equate it for me is how I deal with tough situations, and one of them, here's a good example, is the second half of the marathon in an Ironman. And just like an Ironman, we are not in a 5-kilometer race. We are not in a 10-kilometer race. We are in an ultra endurance distance event right now. We're trapped in the middle of that. So how do I negotiate that? At that point in time in the marathon, after a 3.8 kilometer swim and 180 kilometer cycle, the 42.2 kilometer run is damn long. And roughly third to halfway in, you're always going to feel beaten and tired and dead legs, real suffering. So you can count down the kilometers. At least in this instance, you know where the finish line is, and unless something changes. But I've been in races where I've been feeling amazing. I'm looking at my time and I'm thinking, wow, I'm going to break this split, or I'm going to break that time, or I've got a shot at a podium in my age group, and then the race changes. And I'm counting down the kilometers, I'm feeling quite good, and then everything changes, and then I come to a grinding halt, I've got a cramp, and literally the rest of the race is a walk to the finish line. So the only way for me really to handle that in a way that I can control it is to figure out what are the things that I can currently control. And all I can control in that moment are my thoughts, to be in the present. And what does that mean for me? I just keep moving forward. I don't want to celebrate every single milestone. I don't want to count down the kilometers to the finish, because it just actually becomes too long. I find that time moves far more quickly when I'm living in the present, when I'm in that moment and figuring out how to control myself. At that point in time, it actually moves faster for me than projecting forward. So I think for me, a lot of us are still hanging on to either the past and wishing that it was back to that, or wanting to fast forward into the future. But the problem with the future is we really don't know what's going to happen. And so there's the anxiety and there's the fear of the unknown and what that is. So my advice from my side, we're all different. And for those of you that might resonate with this message, I would really encourage you to concentrate on the things that you can control and just keep moving forward. I think also, we can't control, even if there is loss of job, there's loss of income. It doesn't help, and I know it sounds easy for me to say this, but having been one of those people who lost everything, it doesn't help for me to sit back and think, okay, if I can just get through this too will pass. If we can just get through this, I've got to use the time as best I can to either work at reinventing my model, at improving myself, improving my CV, learning extra skills, trying to figure out what is it that the world is going to need more of in terms of the world we are moving into. and how can I stay relevant in that, or how can I become more relevant in that? What are the needs out there? And I think that's a very, very important exercise. But when we focused so much on the finish line, we miss that opportunity. And yes, it's messy and it's hard, and I don't take that away for a second. This isn't easy on anybody, I don't believe. But in my mind, the best way is to live in the now as much as that is humanly possible. So until next time, see you, stay home, stay safe.